Okay, greetings. Thank you for joining us. All right, I was just on a live stream for 2 hours, so I'm a little bit behind on questions, but so I did what I could tonight. So this is the 1 week, and I'll be at the Secret Space Program conference. So everything's going to stay as scheduled for this week. Next week, uploads, it's really hard to say. I definitely upload something. I'll definitely have the webinar on the same day also. I just have to figure everything out when I get there. So I was going to do the webinar on Saturday, but I'll just do it at normal scheduled time. So, all right. So Israel hidden Cabal energies. So I talked about it yesterday. I was tapping into it. So now we're going to channel the vibrations of the Kabbalah. Let's see what we get. I don't know a whole lot about it. I didn't go to do much detail. I know researched it a little bit, but I'm just going by what I'm feeling from it. So we'll just tap into that. And also Atlantean mysticism. I was going to just do mysticism, but Atlantean energies came through also. So there's a lot of obvious connections there that will eventually put the pieces. There's a lot of pieces to put. The Atlantean energies that's here, of course, there's a lot of different beings here, but there's Atlantean frequency here that is part of our amnesia. And they made things very complicated. So also the energy I feel from that is some of the Atlanteans, felt that we needed to go through this. Us as a human race, of course. I mean, some of the Atlanteans felt, humans are already allowing the manipulations to come through. So who are we to just walk away from that? We're just going to test them until the end, you can say. Until they won't no longer have to be tested anymore. When they start figuring us out, when they start being aware of us and waking up, you can say, that's one way of saying it. So becoming more aware of the hidden vibrations that are here. So, and you can do that on your own. You don't have to expect humanity to evolve. Your own ascension, what matters. The rest of the world is just going to stay in chaos. If you try to save the world, it's just, I know some of that was like an alcoholic. They couldn't get her act together. She was trying to save the world. And yeah, that went off really well. Going to bars, trying to wake people up. What does that sound like? It's like a demonic being trying to save the world. And this came through the opening the Earth's third eye. That was different. Never really tapped into something like that. So I would say expect more of this type of, these type of connections. Just going deeper into the occult, unknown. Because of course, occult is, or esoteric is, hidden, not necessarily bad. It just, everything's hidden. We're here to discover all this on our own, is discover more. The more that you allow to unlock, of course, everyone has their own process, but the more that you're ready for all of this, the more you unlock and more of higher dimensional energies come through. And you find yourself experiencing a different type of life than you had before. So that's what we're, a lot of people want to, if you can't leave this world, at least you can upgrade it. It takes time. So obviously there's a lot of details and everything that aren't always explored. But it really comes down to magic. And magic isn't always making sense either. It's not supposed to. It's not for everybody. Because you can use it for good or bad, and a lot of people don't use it very well. So they get forbidden from using it. Of course, those that use it poorly, they just face the consequences, but still keep their power. So that's all that going on. So obviously, there's more and more you can go on to that. So All right, so this is I'mTotal.com. Yeah, private sessions. This is shop here. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. This one on April, I forget, 6 or 7, something around those lines. Same situation here. The webinar sign up. We have the Discord behind the scenes, and we have the secret space coming up next week. And we have the sign up for it also. And this is the best way to sign up. You can do this at the conference, whichever. Yeah, so I'll have little cards also for people who don't trying to figure out things, so they can figure out how to contact me. Yeah, it's the best way of doing it. I don't know what the best way is to do it, but we'll figure something out. So, all right, we're going to the Cabal energies, Kabbalah frequencies. Yeah, a lot of it is completely hidden. So this isn't going to obviously be for everybody, but of course, there's a lot of times it's an alien energy, but you might be a fourth dimensional alien, but you can't always figure everything out. You can't always, just because you're an alien doesn't mean you know all the dimensions very quick. Of course, nobody ever does, but there's always another place you're not familiar with. There's always another realm. There's always like a wizard within the alien groups. You have always aliens, fourth dimensional beings, but they're not all can tap into the wizardry frequencies. Some Atlanteans could, not all. And so obviously the wizards are keeping everything shut down. So we're here to unlock it little by little. So, and why Israel? Because Israel is known to connect to the Kabbalah. That's why. So, and connected to the Kabbalah is to align themselves with the higher frequencies. To stay ahead of everything, to be the chosen people. That's part of it, at least. That's obviously more to it than that, but just to be the chosen one on many different levels. Yeah, it's like it feels like the instruction book how to control the world. Let's put it that way. Of course, a lot of the Kabbalah is hidden. I mean, some of it's known, but not all of it's known. So anyway, all right, this should be different. Shake things up a little bit. All right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings. You realize there's a feminine energy here. Souls are realigning themselves with the chakras of the earth. Your realignment with the earth was taken over by reptilian beings, by beings that wanted to possess the human as an object, as a thing. So there are alien beings that want to possess humans for themselves. And yes, this is nothing new for some of you, but it's probably something you don't hear about very often. There are aliens that are, they are non-physical and you are physical. To you, they own some of you, not all of you. Yes, so you have these different beings that are trying to control you because, yes, you can say they're in love with you, they possess you, they have their different reasons. They feel like they can school you into the direction they feel is best for you. So, yes, this is the Kabbalah frequencies. There are many, but they saw the vulnerabilities within humans. You can say a lot of alien beings fell in love with the human, embraced the human, because they knew what was in the human experience here was what many aliens lack. Some of that is sympathy. Even if you are a positive high frequency being, you don't always have sympathy for other beings. And incarnating here on Earth, you sympathize with others, as you can see, because you go through a great amount of challenge. So your lesson here can be just to just have sympathy for others. It's that simple. You'd be surprised how hard that is for some to learn that. There's some who are just so unsympathetic. They don't care other people are suffering. So you come in here to suffer yourself. Say, why isn't anybody helping me? Well, you didn't help anybody. Why should anybody help you? So there's all these different fragments of experience. And you're all here to make things as confusing as ever. Well, because all these different alien energies are here. Once again, many beings are obsessed with your world. Even if things are simple and slow, it's still the mannerisms of the human. What the human does in this environment is very fascinating by other alien species. Because alien beings can just go to another portal, get on a ship, they can go to different realities very quickly, but the human stays here, stationed here, in a third dimensional, fourth dimensional environment. Humans here are basically third and fourth dimension here. Of course, many can go to the higher frequencies as they do, but many are actually fourth dimension, even in the very early inceptions of the human psyche, of the human development. So humans here, you can say, are more advanced than the aliens, only because you can handle all this hell, all the confusion. Realize as an alien being, reality is pretty simple, cut and dry, very easy to understand for the most part for an alien being. But your world, everything is convoluted, confusing, and nothing makes any sense. But yet you still function here, even if you can't connect to the outside world. You can't connect to the universe. That's fascinating. I know a lot of alien energies here, because you are an upgrade to themselves. To truly upgrade yourself is to forget. And yes, there's a certain amount of madness, and madness is another talent that many aliens do not have, because they're so used to being in a peaceful environment. They're not used to what crazy feels like. Of course, yes, you have beings that are in the fourth dimension that cause all kinds of mayhem, as you know. But they still have a control over their life. If you're a reptilian being causing, deadly, connections with others, you're doing your service to self, there's still a power within everyone, even the victims that go through it. They still have energy to break themselves out. Not always, but here as a human, you feel like you're isolated, alone. As an alien being, you can feel that too, but there's always something else going on. And yes, as a human, you can feel that also, but still more of a dense environment. If you're an alien trapped somewhere, you don't really have to worry about food, but if you're a human, it's a whole different story. So it's just the human complexity is very fascinating by these alien entities. And some of you feel you're living it, so you're not always seeing the outside world, because the universe is complicated but also simple. As an alien energy, you ask for challenges and get very few, depending on what dimension you're in. Obviously, in your world, you have all problems. Everything's flooding. And at times, yes, it can get overwhelming, but other times it's refreshing that you're going through these challenges and surviving them. It's when you feel like you can't survive them, that's when the trouble comes through, as you know. The mind can't handle it. You don't want to be here anymore. Yes, you might not find. Now, if you find this world extremely boring, find this world evolving too much, your reality, depending on the person, can shift, where it will get more interesting. Doesn't mean it'll get more stressful. It's just that your talents will be utilized. Meaning, when you feel like you're bored in this environment, also means that you've actually changed it up. You've upgraded. You're no longer part of the old frequency. So it's just a lot of layers within the soul. There's still understanding. So you're not always seeing it from an alien's point of view. You're seeing it from a human point of view, and nothing makes sense. But from an alien's point of view, all this chaos makes sense. Because it's chaos to disconnect you from the spirit world. That's the art of this place. That's the magnificence of this part. Obviously, being a human can be a complete nightmare, as many of you know. Yeah, but that's also the beauty of it, the tragic side of it. And those that die early reincarnate here again, normally, not always, but many times, because they just can't take it anymore. And they leave quicker than they're intended to, but then they end up coming back. So this is convoluted planet. Yes, it might not. The aliens might not make a whole lot of sense. Help you make sense of it, but because you cannot connect to the astral realm as clearly as alien frequencies, because even the alien worlds can be very complicated. Lost. So with Israel, yes, connected to a higher power. Before the earth forgot itself. So you can say the Indians received some knowledge from the higher astral, but many in Israel received a great deal before the whole world forgot. So you can say the Israelis that are controlling your reality through Cabal, it's not always the Israelis, but they're also Germans, of course, and so on. With your higher elites, they got the last of the DNA to manifest greatly. And obviously there's many here that manifest very quickly and they don't even realize it. Some are, yes, elitist beings. The most perfect DNA can manifest all kinds of scenarios in their life and not once realize what they're doing. It's like, wow, I'm just an extremely lucky person. But you're also a person with elitist DNA that's been refined for you to accomplish what you're accomplishing. And eventually maybe you'll wake up to see how powerful you really are. And yes, it's part of your soul, but it's also part of your DNA. So basically, those that have a lot of luck, you're also showing you can have a lot of luck here for the human race in general. Many choose not to. Many would choose no luck because that's where all the lessons in the soul growth is. Obviously, many of you don't agree with the soul growth at times because it feels like you're not growing at all. But that's all. When you feel like you're not growing at all, that's also a minor upgrade. It's like, I don't think I'm getting anything out of this. Well, probably because you've gotten everything out of these lessons and you are moving on to a higher level. Just that higher level hasn't shown itself just yet. Greetings. We are the Atlanteans. See, some of our energies are not always trusted. But what is trust? Trust is what you feel like you need to trust. If you don't need to trust us, that's quite fine. It does not interfere with your growth. There are Atlantean beings that did leave a lot of knowledge here. Some of it is in the books of the Bible. And some Atlanteans did write the books of the Bible. To confuse you, but not necessarily to bring they had their own confusion, but to believe their philosophy here. So, is it Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Some of them have Atlantean bloodline. Even Jesus had Atlantean bloodline energies. Why do you think you can do what you can do? Yes, he had Palladian connections. Yes, Syrian connections, but also had Atlantean knowledge that was activated, or I can say reactivated. It has to do with the divine astral to bring someone like Jesus to this reality. They snap humanity out of hypnosis, but only for a short while. Because the contract humanity agreed upon was fractalized. It was many wars on your planet was just to unlock the contract with the earth, with humans and the earth. Because a lot of the wars is about for humans to remember themselves. And yes, they lost those wars. The Renaissance period, they won many wars, but the wars could have went on forever. It is happening now, but not the same length as in the past. In World War II, even World War III is a reset frequency, as many of you know. The Atlantean energies are always there behind the lines. They have not left. They are part of many of your monuments that are built here. Tartarian frequencies is also an element of the Atlantean energy. Atlanteans are trying to actually right a lot of wrongs here through many of you. Yes, they became obsessed with technology. They lost themselves. Some of you might remember your Omarian energy because you're healing the Atlantean frequency. I have to say the Omarians are perfect, but the Omarians were tested greatly, which created India, which also fractalized India. So there were always supposed to be countries that remembered themselves. India was one of them until everything, amnesia, sunk in. Through through treaties. It's not that important of that. Eventually, we'll figure this all out. But as an Atlantean frequency here, many of you, Atlantean lives, some of you might not be proud of. That's what the Atlantean knowledge hasn't been fully unraveled just yet. There's so much to unravel. Your governments are implanted by Atlantean knowledge. There's some Lemurian energy there to heal it. Some of your wizards or sorceresses are connected to the Lemurians, but overall, this is a Atlantean coup on your planet. And you're here to rewrite the program, to remember your roots, even the faults of the Atlantean knowledge, whatever it is, you love them or hate them, it doesn't really matter. As long as their knowledge is being remembered, that's what matters. Yes, there's a dark history there. Darker than most histories, darker than, yes, because it has to do with DNA, with human and animal being spliced together, which became inhumane. And the spirit world did not intervene fast enough. I mean, they knew it was happening, but the spirit world can also be very lenient, and the Atlanteans took advantage of that. Such as World War II, the spirit world became lenient of that too. A lot of alien beings did too. But the Atlanteans basically were doing just horrible things to the human race and the animal race. And this is almost equivalent to like a World War II, World War III of that time. More just experiments. And yes, a war on humanity to even wipe out the humans and allow this new race of people to come in. Now we're more connected to the animals. Yes, you are connected to the animals now, but it's supposed to be more barbaric. Some are supposed to be actual shapeshifters. You have shapeshifters now. But basically, humans are supposed to be aligned with, you say, alien technology, where they can shift their looks. I mean, you can now, but not to strength. And also, but you're under control. Basically, you have Atlantean DNA, where you can do godlike things, but you're under Atlantean control at the same time. Instead, in this lifetime, or this timeline, you were shut down, but you are still on Atlantean timeline. You just don't remember anything. So the mysticism is your past. Your whole past is an ancient realm of magic. Yes, of just horrors. And some of you are remembering. And some of these things need to be remembered for Earth to move on. Because many humans are scared of aliens because of the past. Greetings. I am Gaia. Blessings. Your Sasquatch are asked to be connected to. Yes, they are a dear heart of this earth. Another version of human that was decided on to not be part of the main population here. But Sasquatches do feel that they owe humanity their knowledge because they did not forget themselves as humans did. They were not turned off. Yes, they might look different, but Sasquatch has always been a species of unusualness. But because they still remember and you forgot, that's why they're here. You're going to only make appearances for only certain, usually skeptics, to help widen the awareness of them. Those that love Sasquatch energies, you don't really need a connection because you already know us. As a Gaia frequency, you always say you're all Sasquatch in a form because you are a different type of human. You're several different humans that's connected to the animal races that are here. With the Earth's third eye, is slowly awakening so humans can see more of what's happening here. So humans believe more in themselves, at least on a spiritual level. So those of you that are awakening now are connected to the chakras of the Earth. The Earth is assisting you in your awakening, but not everything. Can't help with all the details of your life. Because it's like you're opening up the hood of a car that's been locked down for thousands of years. And the planets, and some of you are getting used to the higher astral. Some of you adapted very quickly to higher astral, but many did not. So yes, we call popular, the most popular spiritualism. Yes, it's a level, but there's another level of growth that some just aren't quite ready to go. Because basically, you connect to a certain growth of yourself. Yes, you can end your timeline here very quickly and leave the physical altogether. So many are here to work with the physical instead of leave. So they know, like they connect to a certain spiritual person, they can easily exit. So, like I connect to that person, I know I'm going to leave the earth. And just by vibration, it's no violence or anything done like that. No, you just connect that person's vibration, and all of a sudden you feel sick, and now you're out of here. So, but maybe you feel like you have work here to do. So that's what you're doing. You're planting seeds, as some of you call it. So yes, the third eye of the earth is open. It's always been opening for a long time. It was shut for a very long time, of course, in our dark ages. But many beings, even the Anunnaki, are assisting in this awakening process. Well, because they want to end the war. As humans end the war with each other here, the universe can finally heal itself. Because the universe is causing a lot of difficulties here. Why? Because they can't. Because they find opportunity growth within themselves. Yes, it's unlimited. It's just like a factory of no end. There's always an alien species that wants to incarnate here to learn from it, no matter what happens. But many of you are changing that. Many of you are educating your people where you don't have to incarnate over and over here anymore. And some of you are actually a sacred site within yourself. And like where you're living, as you've heard, like paranormal energies, you're living an energy signature here. So you're already shifting the vibrations. You're not seeing it, but others can see it every once in a while. Like you invite a neighbor over to your home, and your energy is so different, they can start losing things. And sometimes they lose things to get them out of there, get out of where you live, and go find those things. And don't come back until you're ready. So,